Hello everyone. Myself, I'm Shailaja from the Department of Biochemistry, St. Anne's College for Women. In this presentation, I would like to speak about buffers. What are the components of buffers? The importance of Henderson-Hasselbalch equation in understanding buffers, and what is the mechanism of action of a buffer. So to begin with, buffers are known to made up of two components. Usually it has a weak acid component along with its conjugate base. So the buffers are again of two types, acidic buffer and basic buffer. In an acidic buffer, we have the composition made out of a weak acid plus the salt of a weak acid. In case of a basic buffer, we have one of the components as weak base and the second component is a salt of that weak base. This conjugate acid-base pair has a characteristic pH buffering zone. That is why in preparing buffers, we always take only these two components. First of all, what are buffers and why are they so important? Buffer is any solution that can resist change in pH. And in my earlier video, I have already told about the significance of pH in a cell. Buffers are solutions which are resisting changes in pH so that a cell maintains an optimum pH, and under that optimum pH, the enzymes of that cell can perform all the works of a cell to its greater potential. If we disturb the pH of a cell, then if the cell's pH deviates from its optimum pH because of extreme conditions of temperature or any other reasons, then the enzymes do not retain their structure or conformation. They lose their structure, they become unfolded, because of which they lose their active site, and as a result the substrates cannot bind to the enzymes, and so the enzymes cannot perform the reactions, and in such case the metabolism of the cell is brought to a halt. So to keep the cell always active and help in its survival and maintenance, it is very essential that the pH of a cell is always within the normal physiological limits, that is of around 7.4. And in achieving this, the buffers inside a cell help a lot in maintaining the pH of the cell. And these buffers are usually made of two components, that is always there is either a weak acid or a weak base and its corresponding salt. So this conjugate acid base pairs, they have a characteristic pH buffering zones, and in that buffering zones they tend to buffer or neutralize the added acids and bases. And to help us assess that buffering zone, there is an equation called Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, which helps us in understanding the importance of buffers. So the equation is given by, it has three terms, which is given as pH equals pKa plus log of salt by acid concentration. And when in this term, or when in this equation, if we see that the concentration of salt, when it equals the concentration of the acid used in making the buffer, then the equation changes to this form. pH becomes equal to pKa plus log of 1. And when log of 1 is found to be 0, so pH becomes equal to pKa. That means the pH becomes equal the pKa, that is dissociation constant of the weak acid, when the concentration of the salt and the acid used in making the buffer are taken equally, or they are of equal concentrations. So first of all, to explain the equation, we actually have three terms here. The first is acronym pH, which stands for negative logarithm of hydrogen ion concentration. pKa is called as the dissociation constant of weak acid, and in the third component we have a logarithmic value term log of salt concentration to acid concentration. Here the acid is the weak acid which is used in making a buffer, and the salt is the conjugate base which is used in the buffer preparation. So in order to know to say that the buffer has a maximum buffering capacity at its pKa value, that is a pH at which the concentration of A minus, that is salt, becomes equal to the concentration of the weak acid, it will show its maximum buffering capacity. So this is our Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. pH is equal to pKa plus log of A minus by HA. So with this information, now we move on to the next slide, summarizing that components of a buffer are usually acid-base conjugate pairs. It can be a weak acid and a salt of its conjugate base, and typically have equal concentrations of weak acid and its salt. They can also be a weak base and a salt of its conjugate acid. Coming to the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. Now, let us assume we have a solution of weak acid, say Ha, with a conjugate base A minus, and the dissociation reaction for this is given by this equation. Ha dissociates as H plus and A minus. So dissociation constant Ka for this reaction is given as follows. Ka becomes equal to product of concentrations of H plus and A minus divided by concentration of weak acid. When we slightly rearrange this equation and express the concentration of H plus as a function of A minus by Ha ratio, we are simply rearranging this above equation and expressing it in terms of H plus. So when I bring H plus to the left hand side as here, the other terms Ka goes to the right hand side, and Ha, which is in the denominator position, goes to numerator. A minus, which is in numerator, comes to denominator position. It is just the same equation but expressed in terms of H plus. Or now when again I take logarithms on both sides in this above equation and do some sign juggling, so this negative log H plus becomes pH. Then negative log Ka becomes pKa. So pH is the hydrogen ion concentration, pKa is the dissociation constant, and when I take log of Ha by A minus, then remove the negative sign, becomes log A minus by Ha. Now this is our Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. And as explained in the previous slide, using these three terms, we can understand uh, about the buffering action of a buffer, and how by altering the concentrations of either the salt and the weak acid, how we can bring a change in the pH of the buffer. And pKa gives us an idea about the dissociation constant of that weak acid. And we can also, like, if any two terms in this equation are known to us, we can determine the other terms. Like, if I know the concentration of the salt used in the buffer, the concentration of the weak acid used in the buffer, like in terms of their molarities I know, then I can determine, provided the dissociation constant of the weak acid is also provided, then I can determine the pH of that buffer solution. Other way around, if I know the pH of the buffer that I need to make, and I know the dissociation constant of the weak acid used in the buffer, and I may ask to find out the concentration of the salt and the weak acid needed to make the buffer, then also I can determine using this equation. So this is the importance of this Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. So let's assume we have a solution that contains about equal amounts of acid and its conjugate base. Now, into such a buffer preparation, if we add some strong acid, it will shift the dissociation equilibrium to the left. That means the pH of the solution will go down. And low pH means it is acidic, it becomes acidic. Now but if this happens, the cell will enter into a phase of acidosis, and in that situations comes to rescue the buffers, which are the solutions which resist the changes in pH. So the equation above, called Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, is widely used in buffer calculations, both to calculate the recipes and also to predict the pH changes. In our next slide, we see that there are various types of buffers existing. We have alkaline buffers, acidic buffers. So usually in our bloodstream, when our blood becomes too acidic, alkaline buffers come to the rescue, and acidic buffers come into play if the blood pH becomes too alkaline. Bicarbonate ions also can act as buffers because they bond with positively charged alkaline ions such as calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and help the body neutralize and increase in the blood's acidity levels. So buffers are usually substances which are capable of stabilizing pH in aqueous solutions. And this is a normal phenomena always happening inside our cells to keep our cells in a condition of homeostasis. There are many biological uses of these buffers. Not only do they keep the essential homeostatic state inside a cell so that all the processes, life reactions work properly inside a cell. There are many day-to-day uses of buffers also, like they are being used in household cosmetic products so that their pH levels are controlled, like shampoo, shampoos, baby lotions, all washing powders, eye drops, all these try to maintain their pH levels by using buffer solutions so that the products exhibit their maximum function, or they work with their maximum potential. Now coming to this slide, in this slide I would like to explain to you all how a buffer actually neutralizes a strong acid or a strong base and resists change in a pH. So this is basically about mechanism of action of a buffer. If you see the inside of the diagram in this box, here it is showing the two components of the buffer. Ha is a representation for weak acid and Ba is a representation for the salt of the weak acid. So now when a strong acid is added to a medium or to a cell, what happens? Acid is capable of donating protons. So there are added H plus ions which can increase the acidity of the cell or lower the pH values. This is not safe to the cell, so a buffer has to resist that change in pH of the cell. So how does it resist that change? The added H plus ions are now neutralized by the salt component of the buffer. The salt component of the buffer, represented as Ba, dissociates as A minus, and these A minus ions react with the added H plus ions and form a weak acid Ha, which is a component of the buffer. So all the H plus ions which have been added to the medium from the strong acid have been neutralized by way of by way of getting converted to a weak acid. So that means a strong acid has been converted to a weak acid, and that weak acid has become a component of the buffer. So there will not be any change in the pH of the cell. Now, on the other hand, if we see that when a strong base like NaOH is added, sodium hydroxide, the added OH minus ions will be neutralized by the protons which come from the weak acid component of the buffer. So, a weak acid, which is a component of buffer, now dissociates as H plus and A minus. The A minus can interact with the B plus and form the salt, or the H plus ions that have been dissociated from the weak acid now interact with the added OH minus ions and form water. Water is now a neutral molecule. So there will not be any change in the pH of the solution due to the added OH. That means when a strong base is added, the weak acid component of the buffer dissociates its protons to form water with the added OH minus ions. This way the two components, that is a weak acid and the salt, come to the rescue of the cell whenever a strong acid or a strong base is added, and try to buffer the changes in the pH. That is how a buffer resists changes in pH. With this discussion, I would like to end this presentation. Thank you.